Welcome to the Note to Self podcast. I'm your host, Zoe. I'm a certified professional life coach, serial entrepreneur, verified YouTuber, and published author. On this podcast, you can expect actionable tips, reflections, and inspiration to live your best, most fulfilling life. So, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Note to Self. Today's Note to Self is simple habits to heal the nervous system. So, at the beginning of 2022, I set the intention to regulate my nervous system, to become embodied to a level or to an extent that I have not yet in my life. And this has been a path of growth, of evolution. And I truly believe that the path of embodiment really is one of having a healed and regulated nervous system. And when you are embodied, the more and more that you become embodied, the more and more that you are in your personal power. And it's such an incredible feeling. It's such an incredible feeling to feel safe and to feel secure in this beautiful vessel that you navigate life with. So, with these simple habits, I trust that they will, if you incorporate them, create some powerful positive change in your life. And with just mentioning change there, I want to quickly speak into the compound effect of change, which is the idea of creating a small change each day that adds up to the larger change that you would like to see in your life. So, an example that I like to use is, let's say your life isn't feeling as fun as you would like it to be. Ask yourself, how can I infuse a little bit of fun in each day, or how can I start having fun in each day so that when I look back in time, I see that, damn, my life is fun. So maybe that's incorporating play. Maybe that is going out a little bit more, being social if you feel called to that, or just doing what you love, right? And over time, you'll look back on your life and see, I have been enjoying myself. So, today's focus, like I said, is on healing the nervous system. So, these are small changes that I have incorporated into my life that have created the compound effect of change over time, that have created tangible, amazing results for me. And that's why I want to share it with you today. So, the first change that I've made that is in alignment with healing my nervous system is changing the alarm on my alarm clock, which is my phone. And it used to be that generic buzzer that I'm sure a lot of you would feel a little shiver if you heard that sound going off, not in the morning, but even in the morning. And I changed my alarm to birds chirping. So I love this because it's something natural and it doesn't actually always like wake me up right on the dot. It's a very slow and gradual wake up call. And I love it because it's natural. Like I said, it's birds chirping. It's something that doesn't feel foreign to my sleepy mind. It's soft, it's welcoming, and it allows me to just enter into the day not in shock, not in panic for this like crazy buzzer alarm sound that's coming from my technological device. um, and the next point that I have is that actually my phone is on sleep mode when I'm sleeping. It's not beside my head when I sleep. I like to keep it outside of my bedroom, but still in a place that I can hear it. So if you have, let's say, a bathroom beside your room or just outside and you're not bugging anyone that you might be living with, having your alarm clock in the hallway, it can be really powerful to do so. I find that it just helps me to have more restful sleeps because I'm not getting up and in the middle of the night, perhaps looking at my phone and having that blue light burn through my retinas. You know what I'm saying? There's actually a correlation with blue light keeping you up. So, yeah, just a little tidbit to add in there. But yeah, so my phone is on still sleepy mode, still on do not disturb mode. And I go out into my living room. I light a candle and some incense. I make myself a cup of peppermint tea and I sit there by candlelight and I stream of consciousness right for however long I need to. And what I do in this situation is I scan my body and just write into anything that doesn't feel complete to me. Perhaps I'm writing into a dream I had. Perhaps I'm writing into something that might have just felt like it was still sitting not right from the day before, or even triggering. And I just give myself that space and time to really just clear the channel, clear myself, and set a powerful, spacious, energetic precedent for the day. And the next thing that I've done is that I don't drink coffee anymore. I replaced coffee with matcha. And matcha is still caffeinated, yes, but it's a very different level of caffeine. And trust me, I know you guys, because when people around me weren't drinking coffee and I was drinking coffee, I was like, you guys are missing out. I know how incredible coffee is. I remember days when I lived in Italy where I would have like an average of 4 espresso a day, and I was loving it. I was loving getting that workflow in, feeling that high of the caffeine, just being able to like get a lot of things done. But over time, I've realized that that actually didn't really feel good in my body. It actually felt quite acidic. It actually felt kind of anxiety causing. And as I've become more in tune with my body, I naturally have become more intuitive with what I put in. And coffee stopped feeling good to me. And I replaced it with matcha. And what I want to speak into matcha for a moment, you guys can, of course, Google the benefits of matcha. There are a lot. I'm not a nutritionist, so I'll just let you do your own research if you feel called. But I really love the ritual of it. So with matcha, this was introduced by my friend Grayson, so I have to give a total shout out to her because else I don't really feel like I would be drinking matcha right now. But she encouraged me to try it out, and I quickly weaned myself off of coffee because I had so much fun making matcha. So you take the powder, you put it into your matcha bowl, your matcha cup. I went out and bought myself a really nice one. It felt just really good to pick out this intentional cup that I would be drinking from each morning and have this sacred ceremonial tea, and I mix it up. It's fun to whisk it up. There's like a special process to it. There's definitely YouTube videos on that. I've watched them. And it just feels very ritualistic. And I know that coffee feels very ritualistic to people, but coffee for me sometimes was ritualistic. And then other times it was just to get that hit. But with matcha, it always just feels very intentional to create this for myself. And that's what I love about it. And with matcha, I generally only drink 1 cup per day. And if I feel like I want some type of tea or something throughout the day, I started to drink chamomile tea. I've actually never really given chamomile tea a place in my life. I know it's something that people might associate with like a bedtime tea or something to calm you, but it actually really helps to calm the nervous system. So even throughout my day, I'll just have a little bit of chamomile tea. I'll put a bit of almond milk in it. It creates like a very luscious, elevated beverage that feels good in the body and just has me feeling calm and relaxed. And it's been super beneficial. So I wanted to share that. And the next thing that I have incorporated into my life, which has supported the nervous system, is what I like to call binaural naps. And I have these midday. So, as a projector in human design, it is actually very much recommended for me to take naps. I do get up quite early. I get up at 4:50 a.m. each day. So, definitely by midday, I'm feeling fatigued. And so, what I like to do is create this space and time where I'm lying down for at least half an hour, and I put myself under a weighted blanket that's actually weighted with Balinese volcanic rock and healing crystals. It's fabulous. I put on some binaural beats and I lie down for at least half an hour. And for the most part, I don't actually fall asleep. I just find that I access a new level of consciousness, and it really supports me in the flow for the rest of my day. It has actually allowed me to be even more productive. It has allowed me to be even more clear. And just carving out this space and time each day, giving myself permission to rest, has been a total game changer. And if you guys have listened to binaural beats before too, you just know that they're amazing. And they're definitely also probably a tip that I have in this regard to put on during the day or in your workflow. They just create a really positive, focused space. And in alignment with the binaural naps midday, is that I like to incorporate a little bit more of a horizontal time. This I find also recharges my batteries. So let's say I need to make a reel or I want to put together an Instagram post. I don't actually have to be sitting up to do this. I can be lying down. And the more time that I find that I spend horizontal, the more time I feel recharged. So this is a tip that I definitely have for all the projectors out there, but I also feel like anyone could benefit from this. It's just such a powerful way to recalibrate the body and get a little bit of rest in. And the next tip that I have is breath work. So, more recently in my life, I hired 2 one-on-one breathwork coaches. This has been incredible because breathwork was always something that was in my field. I tried it out, right, when I've gone to different retreats and things like that, and I'm like, "Yeah, I like breathwork." It's I've gotten some results, but it was almost like I always knew that I could go way deeper with it, but I just wasn't ready. And I finally felt ready as I've been on this journey of embodiment. And so working with breathwork coaches each week has allowed me to access a new level of depth and a level of depth that is comparable to ayahuasca ceremonies. Of course, not nearly as long, but I've had visuals, I've had different epiphanies, aha moments, just through the medicine of the breath. So it's so powerful. And you don't need to hire a coach. Like there's tons of like online trainings about breath work, or there's guided breath work things online, or there's different breath work exercises that you can do. So it's just however deep you want to go. I would definitely recommend that if you are feeling like you want to go deep with it, to have someone to hold space for you, of course. But yeah, this has just allowed me to come into my power even more. And when I notice that I'm in a triggered space or in that fight or flight mode, what I'll do is I'll come back to this exercise of box breathing, which is something that my coach recommended to me. So it's basically the idea of inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, exhaling for 4 seconds, and holding for 4 seconds, and then doing the same thing. So you can sort of imagine it creates like a box. And there's definitely different spaces into the body that I've found through working with my coach that you can breathe into, right? If you think about the chakras, if you're desiring to get into your heart space, start breathing into your heart. Start practicing the box breath into your heart. If you're desiring to feel more in your power and feel empowered about a certain situation, breathe into that solar plexus through the box breath. If you are desiring to feel into your creative energy, breathe into the sacral and just see what happens. It can be so incredibly powerful. So, anyways, my last point here is inner self talk. If your inner child needs you in any way, prioritize her, him, right? If ever you're in that fight or flight mode or facing a trigger, it's because there's probably a younger version of yourself that's desiring your attention and they totally deserve it. So give them that attention. Perhaps take 10 minutes and box breathe in dedication to them and to move through the emotion that's present for them. The more and more that you can hold space for yourself, hold space for the inner child, release these suppressed emotions or uncomfortable energies, the more liberated you'll feel. Anyways, I hope that this episode helped you guys, inspired you in some way. I'm sending you so much love, and may we all regulate our nervous systems so we can just be unstoppable human beings. Love you. Thank you for listening to Note to Self. If you enjoyed this episode, please help me out by rating and reviewing this show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If my energy is resonating with you and you feel the call to work with me, there are an abundance of ways to do so. I offer one-to-one life coaching programs, mastermind containers, and DIY courses, all of which are available through my website, zoearielpoulsen.com. Until next time, take note of all the abundance that surrounds you as you make the most of this game called